welcome to Hang with Hang. In today's video, I'm going to dedicate to the people pleaser in the house. Hopefully the key that I'm sharing with you today is going to help you stop being a people pleaser. Because here's the thing, as a wholehearted, I know you know how to give. And the thing is, you overgive, right? You overplease people and you start hurting yourself. And it starts causing a lot of resentment. You stop being your authentic self. You're going to feel suffocation, and then the whole spiral go with it, and you're not going to be happy. And then you may get into the apathy mode, get in depression mode, and you're going to start get jaded about life. So it's not really do anybody any good when you are being a people pleaser. And the cool thing about this is that you actually know it, and you haven't been able to help yourself of stop being people pleasing. So hopefully in this video, the key that I'm sharing with you will shed some light and new insight that you can step into, so then you can give yourself more freedom of being your authentic self. Sounds good? With that, let's dive in. This is me recovering COVID. Still got me a little bit. So here, my friend, point number one is to recognize that you're people pleasing. So if you already recognize that you are people pleasing, kudos to you. First step, big five for you. Because, you know, to have that awareness and watch yourself going through it sucks, because you can't help yourself, right? But then, by having that awareness, then you get to choose to do something about it, which is take to key number two, is to give yourself space and time to understand the reason why you're doing it. Ask yourself the deeper questions, right? What need am I fulfilling by pleasing this person? Because chances are, when you're trying to please someone, you may have a need to be accepted, the need to be validated, the need to be loved, whatever it is usually go back to when you was younger. Because as human, we all have need, but unfortunately when we were younger, we're not being taught that way. So you have to suppress your need in some form, and emotionally we become needy, so it's show up in some different form by us pleasing people, by us doing the thing that is actually not helping us. So let's say that when you were younger, you needed acceptance and acknowledgement, which is a very normal human thing from your parents, but then your parent didn't know any better because they didn't learn from their parent, so they very critical of you and never give you the acknowledgement or the validation that you need as a young adult. So in that, your system is going to create whatever it takes to get that validations, to get the acknowledgement that you need as a human being. By, you know, some of us, we throw tantrum as a way of getting it. Some of us, by doing things, sabotage you getting it. So whatever the behavior that you do, negative behavior, and you get the reward for it, we're going to keep doing it, right? And whatever positive we do, we get reward, we keep doing it. But unfortunately, most of the time, that when parents don't know any better, we behave poorly and we get acknowledged for that, so then we keep doing that. So then when you grow up now, you end up in dynamics that in relationship, in friendship, that person could remind you of your mom, your dad, or uncle, whoever that you have that need, that deep need to fill. You could be turned into that 5 years old, 6 years old, and you act like it because you want to please that person, even though that person have no business to please that. There's a difference between choosing to love someone and feel obligated to love someone. And that's the invitation that I'm inviting you, is to look deeper. And if you haven't already, maybe talk to a therapist, talk to a coach, talk to a healer, somebody who is an expert in the field to help you explore that. Or you can do some sort of training like the Landmark Forum, like a PSI, whatever the form is, to help you discover more about yourself and that deep need that you may not connecting to. Because here's the thing, we all have our blind spot. We don't know what we don't know. And that's how my occupation exists. Because, you know, my clients are extremely intelligent, smart like you. And a lot of time the thing that hold them back, the thing that they can't help themselves, is the very thing that they're not aware of at the deeper level. So on the surface level, you know that, you know, it's not healthy that I'm doing this. Why am I keep doing this? Like, I don't want to do it, but then I do it, right? But then you don't know why you keep doing that. So that's why it's really important to dig deeper to understand why. And then once you do that, you know, within yourself, with the meditation, whatever form that you're doing, because there's time and season for everything, right? Then my invitation for you, which is key number 3, is to bring that energy back to yourself. And chances are, you in my world, you heard about self-love, you heard about self-care, or you at least you already tried some degree of that. And here I'm making a really strong point for you to deliberately make the decision to bring the energy back to pleasing yourself. Now, there's a difference between selfishness and selflessness, right? And a lot of giver, when we talk about self-care, self-love, oh, that's very selfish because that takes me away from my loved one, my kid. But the reality is, right? And you may have heard me say this before, or from some other reading or some other thing that you do, is when you're not taking care of yourself, you're not your best version anyway. So you become reactive. You are a version of your wounded self. So then people catch your rift of your hurt self, and you project the pain on the people around you anyway. So if you could just pause a second, instead of pleasing people, right? Instead of conforming yourself and trying to be somebody else, pretend to be somebody else to make other people happy, if you can just be authentic to your own need, and that, you know what, I need 5 minutes to sit down and meditate. I need 5 minutes to really walk and connect to myself and what my truth is. And by you be authentic with yourself, and by authentic in your moment, is give people, your loved one, a chance to be authentic to themselves too. Because a lot of time when we please people, we actually enabling them to behave in that way. But when you take the step back and really ground it in who you are authentically in a moment, is give them a chance to be authentic. And yeah, in that moment, people are not going to like it if they are so used to you give them whatever that they want. You are so used to conform yourself to their need. It's going to be a shock for them because you've been spoiling them. You've been enabling them. But by you stand grounded, people are going to say like, oh my God, there's a chance for me to grow too. So the gift for you to be authentically be in yourself, to please yourself, not only that, you are taking care of yourself so you feel good, so you show up to be a better mom, better wife, better girlfriend, a better boss, a better employee. And you also create space for people around you that who you care for to be authentic with how they feel, to be in their own discomfort, and to be honest of the area that they can grow. Because when we please people the way, in the small version of yourself, you're actually just enabling people. You're not doing them any good. It's just like, you know, the situation where parents, right, they love their kids, and let's say the kid want candy. If you feed them candy all the time, they're going to get diabetes. It's not really good for them. But then the moment the parents say, no, candy is not good for them, the kid's going to feel very uncomfortable because like, I want candy because it gives me a temporary pleasure. But the reality is that candy is going to cause diabetes, rotten teeth, and all these negative things. So it's not good for them. So it's really helpful when you can stay grounded in yourself and speak the truth. And a lot of times, parents not able to do that, not having the strength to do that because they love themselves through their kid, because they need their kid to love them. They need their kid validation. They have so much pain when their kids in pain. So that's when you love yourself through somebody else. So you got to stop doing that, because you got to love yourself for you, and you have to let people go through their stuff. Because if you truly love your kid, you're not going to feed them, you're not going to help them become diabetic, you're not going to help them have a rotten teeth, right? So then you got to stay in your ground and be strong in your ground and be able to sit and love your kid the way they need, and let them go to a temporary discomfort of not getting their pleasure of candy. And then in time, they're going to understand, they're going to learn, so they not suffer later. Because if you're not letting them go through that temporary pain, they're going to suffer from having diabetes. They're going to suffer from having a rotten teeth and have no teeth when they grow up. So the point of bring the energy back to yourself and pleasing yourself is actually a selfless thing that you can do for yourself, not selfish thing, as all the example that I'm showing you. In that, my friend, which is take the point number 4, is to find the balance of giving and receiving. Because here's the thing, you don't want to give all day, you don't want to take all day, because it's called disharmony. And I'm sure you experience this. Sometimes You know, you in a situation of a relationship dynamic, you feel like you want something from that person, but you judging yourself for wanting it. Or like, is that because I take something from that person? But what you are, the discomfort that you're feeling is the disharmony of the flow. Because here's the thing, if you're in a relationship where you give all the time, it's causing imbalance. It's causing imbalance. And if you're in a relationship you take all the time, it's causing imbalance. So it's really important to pay attention to when to give yourself. And honestly, when your tank is full and you get to choose to give that, and how do you take and bring it back. And that take could be a form of you giving yourself, or that take could be a form of you let somebody else give you. So life is given and take. So find the balance in that. Okay, my friend, I hope with that it will inspire you to stop being a people pleaser. I think it's beautiful that you are so loving, so giving. So don't change that. Don't change who you are. I think it's beautiful that people are in place of service. But really be honest with yourself. Is there balance in that? And be honest with yourself. Do I need to take a step back and bring that pleasing back to myself and create the harmony within myself and within my dynamic with people around me? Love yourself so you don't love yourself through others. Love yourself enough so you have the capacity to love the people that you love the way they need, not the way that you want. So with that, I would love to hear what your insight in this in the comment sessions. Thank you so much for being here, listening to me, and being to the very end of this video and being a community. I really appreciate having you here because you inspire me to make this video even while I'm recovering during COVID right now. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, set on your notification, and we'll let you know when the next video will come out. And if you know somebody who could use this video, share this to the right heart. That could be helpful for them. Thank you so much. Sending you my love from my heart to yours and from Hawaii to wherever you are in the world. Aloha.